This is episode 89 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and we're here with Separatists versus Empire, our new normal.
Yes, we are. I've taken the opportunity this week to just flick through one of the, I suppose, meta lists that is it's being played sort of within my theme, which is obviously the 3-boy Vader Mauler Backstabber, and I've chucked in Flight Leader Ubel and a Black Squadron Ace, with Tiber, Synced, Laser Cannons, Ruthless, Electronic Baffle, and the Target Assist MJ Key 300 on the Brute. Wanted to give it a go because it'd be remiss of me not to try it. A lot of people are flying the Brute in this list, so I thought I'd have a go. What have you brought for us, Sam?
So as you may remember, I got knocked out by Liam Baker and his Separatist list, and he was running a pretty cool list involving Dirge, 2 Tri-Fighters, and a Fire Spray. So I decided to take his list and improve on it by swapping Django for Bo-Katan in the Gauntlet, and the point I've gained there, I upgraded a Flakar Fok to Dis T81 Siege of Coruscant version.
Ah, the classic Sam Cooper upgrade. I'm going to take a Fire Spray and make it worse.
I'm going to take a Fire Spray, remove it from the list, and put it in a worse ship. Exactly. So, but we have Bo-Katan Kryze with Treacherous, General Grievous, Novice Technician, Veteran Tailgunner, Proton Bombs, Mandalorian Optics, the Gauntlet title, and obviously Swivel Wing. Accompanied by Dirge with Marksmanship, Proton Cannons, Delayed Fuses, the title, and Proton Bombs. Siege of Coruscant Dis T81 with Outmaneuver, Afterburners, and Contingency Protocol. And his ability in Siege of Coruscant is whenever he attacks or defends, he can reroll as many of his dice as he likes, but he takes a strain or deplete depending on how many dice he rerolls. Like he's a very, very consistent. As long as if you treat it as he has either constant fire control system and constant elusive, your blues are good enough that you'd never have to worry about it. But he is spicy because he's got a very consistent attack as well. So he never has to take target locks. And Volandas of Outmaneuver, because it's Volandas, and he's a 4-point Tri-Fighter with a focus action, and he's good.
Yeah. Before we get into this game, we should just touch on last weekend's tournament, because we said we would. Not the greatest day for me. I had a really amazing game round 1 against 4 A-Wings and Thane and a T-65 that came down to a 1-point loss, 17-16 in the end, which was a really fun game, really good to play. Really, really tight, like literally last roll of the dice type stuff. A direct on a proton bomb would have swung it my way, nice tight game. The second game, I learnt the valuable lesson of what happens when Whisper Kylo gets behind a Vader, and that ended up in an incredibly bad loss for me, which then put me on a bye round 3, a win round 4, for 2 and 2 for the day, but you needed 3 and 1 to make cut. And yeah, it's just the way it goes. Like that tight game was, I suppose, almost the deciding factor. But yeah.
So my tournament went a little bit differently. So in game 1, I was facing off against like Whisper Kylo and a bunch of Whisper Kylo, Blackout in the Silencer, Wrath in the Whisper, and I believe Malarus in the FO. And I, very unfortunately for my opponent, basically completely diced him off the board. Like turn 2, Kylo got quite unlucky with energy shells, and then to kick it all off was in a bullseye of one of my Kelrodo eyes that had Crackshot and Captain Nasir. So when I rolled 2 hits, I basically said, unless you roll even if you roll 2 evades, I'm dealing 2 damage to you. And so I was able to remove Kylo, and then his attack dice just didn't come back, and I ended up winning 20-3. Then I met your A-wing opponent in round two, and it was an interesting list. Um, and basically, unfortunately for him, I was able to chip away at the A-wings and win mostly off objective, putting me up to 2-0. Then I met a good friend of ours, Matt Vickery, in his first order, and I met him at the last time we went to Plymouth and got horribly defeated. And when I met him this time, I also was horribly defeated. Like it was relatively close, but it was one of those. It's technically close, but there's no way for me to win unless Matt decides he wants to give me a chance. I lost a lot of vultures on the initial engagement and couldn't get back through his green dice on the whispers and the FOs that he was bringing. And in my final game, I met Chris Burnett, and it was a really interesting game. I think Chris basically he would try to sort of essentially battleship with his Poe because he was running like Poe, two pods, Kaz, and Lulo. And this is Poe in the Falcon, and so he deployed opposite my block, but didn't quite respect how fast my block could go if I wanted to, and so what ended up happening is Poe got caught turning away, like around the center to start like abusing trick shot, and lost about basically 8-4 energy shells round two and lost almost half his health. And then from that point onwards, it's quite easy for me to edge it out because then Poe can never like ever commit. And we were playing chance engagement. So I had control of the center and Chris's ships just had to come towards me, which is exactly what I wanted. Leading me with a very respectable 3-1 in the end.
Nice, nice.
Actually, did I get me versus Chris and me versus Matt the wrong way around, perhaps?
No, you and Chris played round 4.
Oh yeah, okay, that's yeah. So that got me into the top cup because I was 3-1, and I met Matt Vickery's first order again. But this time I had learned, and we were playing salvage, which is what I lost to him the first time. I had learned, and it was an absolutely nail biter of a game. And essentially the game came down to Captain Sear running away with a box on 1 health and a droid running away with a box on 2 health, and Kylo could not fit an extreme maneuvers boost around my bomber, which would have lined him up the shot onto where Captain Sear won and almost certainly won him the game. And I believe I edged it out like something like 2019 in the end, putting me into the final versus Stuart Convery, another tin. And his Republic aces, basically. He has Delta B Anakin, Delta B Obi, Click and Contrail. And unfortunately, I lost that game, because it basically boiled down to I got a pretty good engage, but the green dice had decided that now is the time, and Anakin and Obi-Wan basically killed a droid a turn for 3 turns after the initial engage, and I just couldn't quite get the shots to finish off either of the deltas. I think the ending score was something like 23-17. I scored 17 points on objective, and it was scramble the sensors. So if I just killed 1 ship, I probably would have won. But after the initial engagement, where I dealt a lot of damage to Obi and Anakin, I could just never get enough guns on target, which was just unfortunate. But it was a cracking day.
Yeah,
for me anyway.
Second place.
Yeah, I mean, I feel playing at Plymouth is actually always quite fun. I guess just because we know a good solid chunk of people.
Yeah, exactly. But onwards and upwards into today's game, and we are playing Assault at the Satellite Array. And we have rolled off for first player, and Sam is first player on turn 0.
Yep.
We overlap at 4 and 5.
We don't overlap at 4. I'm the only one with 4. It's just 5.
Oh yeah, I'm not playing that list, am I? Sorry, I'm so used to having the decimator now. Yeah, overlap at 5. So, I mean, Assault is kind of... We've both put a range 2 of the middle, so you've got 3 straight down the line there.
Yeah.
You've put the one on my board edge, range 2 of the centre, on the left as I'm looking at it, top of the screen, and as close up as you can. And I've gone just a little bit further down and a little bit deeper, but not a whole lot. So it's just a slightly wonky cross.
Yeah, the idea being for at least for me, I have a large base ship. If I want to get 3 of these objectives as close as I possibly can to each other, so that the large base can at least have 1, maybe 2 turns of contesting 2 to 3,
Yeah.
because that can really swing you on points, and it forces an odd like number, like it forces a lot of things. It's less useful against your offense because you have a medium base, so you can you can pick a point to outnumber me at, basically, because your medium base is equal to my large.
Yeah.
But it still like increases the odds of me being able to get points for a scenario.
Yeah. And to that extent, for rocks, I kind of want to get as many rocks in between those 3. This
Yeah, it was
effectively
interesting because
2 clusters of 3 because of the way it's set up.
yeah, it was interesting because I believe I placed the first thing I placed was like one of your smaller rocks, just inside range 1 of the center in like my quadrant. The idea being that with doing that, you can't just place a rock dead center. Like there is always a gap for Bo to go to.
Yeah. But what I did find is, what I think I did then was place the one of the Pride of Mandalors smack in the center of the 3 at the bottom of the screen as we're looking at it, to cut off that quadrant.
Yeah, and then I replied with another Pride of Mandalore rock, basically just on your side, because where you've placed your 2 and 2 and I placed mine in the center, there's a block of 3. So I placed that in the center, trying to say like, okay, you can't just have all 3 of those. The engagement happens on my side.
Yeah. I then found I could sneak one of the Pride of Mandalores almost curving round the objective in your center side, at range 1 of the rock that you placed in that triangle, to kind of really cut off the 2 on that side.
Yeah. And then I placed the final small rock. Actually, no, wait. I think
then you think you do the mustache rock, and then I do the
I do the mustache. I do the mustache rock. Like I basically, and I just bury it. It's like I think I almost 2 and 2 it in like Sean's right hand side, like as far away from any objective as possible.
Yeah,
because I know that's the one you can sneakily sneak in anywhere.
Yeah. And then I do the final small rock just up on the left hand side from the objective there on your side, to really kind of cut off that corner, and that side of the board you've got very little chance of getting Bo in range of all 3 of them. 2's feasible, but it's creating a lot of channels that forces you to go in certain directions. And if you
at the very least, if I'm contesting 3 of them, I'm probably on a rock.
Yeah. And if you want to come down the other side where there's more space, that means we joust. And I kind of think I win that joust.
Yeah, you should win the joust.
So, yeah. But your 4s go down first.
Yeah, so I slap Bo-Katan as far, basically just to the right of center, setting up so I can like 2 straight, 1 bank into the center of that 3, just to try and capitalize on scoring 3 for at least 1 turn, because 3 points for 1 turn that are likely to be mine without you committing a bunch of resources is still worth doing if I can. And then I put this T81 on my far left, like at a 15-degree angle, like pointing towards the center. So I have a couple of options depending on where you go.
No, this was interesting.
Because whilst we've forgotten is you've placed your black squadron first.
Oh yeah, I did have a 3. And I placed it at the top of the screen, my far left. Just to the left is the objective there. My thinking being, if you put your entire list opposite me, I just hard turn and shoot down. Or I can maybe sneak in a point for a turn. You place your 5s as well first.
Yeah. So I put Volandas with this tier 1. He's actually fully in the corner at about a 15-degree angle, like tilted towards the center. And then I put Dirge in my right, all the way in the corner, pointed directly at the center of the board. The idea being he can basically just meander, and because he's fast enough to be where I need them. In fact, Volan, Dis, and Dirge are all fast enough to basically be where I need them when I want them.
Yeah.
So I'm okay to just react to where you place your ships.
Which is quite interesting, because I completely miscalled the Bo-Katan. When you placed her there, I looked at that and thought, I think Sam's going to do what he quite often does with his Vulture droids. He's just going to hard turn away, come towards the 3 that only have 1 rock to deal with, I thought maybe like a 2 hard to the left, then a 2 hard to the right to go down the middle where the 3 are.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, if I'd thought you'd go straight, I would have set up almost opposite you.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, if you'd set up opposite me, I don't go straight.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing, like because spoiler alert, you don't set up opposite Bo-Katan, that tells me okay, well turning towards that side is a waste of time because you'll just kill me. Straight it is.
But interestingly, that I think setting up opposite you, even if you do turn away, then that's better for me than it is to allow you to go into there.
Yeah.
Because what I do is I set up Ubel to the left of the Moustache Rock, which is just right of centre, basically, so he can meander up and turn in towards the 2 objectives, centre and towards my board edge in the centre, that have a lot of open space. The medium base can fit in there, and then my thoughts were sort of next few turns probably meanders past the centre, depending on what happens, turns up towards my left, the top of the screen for the one up there, or turns in between the 2 Pride of Mandalores to go for the one on your board edge.
Yeah.
And then I set up Mauler and Backstabber to the right of the Moustache Rock, which is directly below the bottommost objective on the right-hand side. Thinking, I can shoot up there. If the Tri-Fighters disappear, then I can just turn in towards the centre. Or I can go up behind, come round towards the one at your board edge. And Vader's tucked in behind them to follow round, basically.
Yeah. All right, and that's us set up.
Yeah. So we roll off first player, and I'm first player.
Yeah. And so my plan for first turn is basically Bo-Katan. Like I said, Bo-Katan moves towards the center. Dirge, I actually want to go threaten your Black Squadron Ace, and the Tri-Fighters get the heck out of dodge.
Yeah. So I one hard to the right with the Black Squadron Ace, and I take a focus. Basically, if Dirge meanders down towards me, I go. If he doesn't, I've still got the distance to one hard back up. So
yeah,
keep my options open.
Oh, I've just realised I've been tricked by the colours on the overlay.
Yes, that's a good point.
Volandas and Dis are swapped. Dis is the one dead in the corner, and Volandas is slightly inside.
I do clock that about halfway through the game. But yeah, so Bo does a 1 straight.
Bo does a 2 straight and focuses.
I'm pretty sure
there's no 1 straight on the gauntlet. There's no 1 straight on the gauntlet.
That looks quite not that far.
That
for
is a 2 straight.
Fair.
Yeah. So Dis does a 3 bank and barrels to the right because I don't want to any chance of you having a random shot with Vader.
I 5 with both the boy TIE fighters. As I say, it puts me almost to the centre. It gives me great options for turn-ins or carrying on straight up the board. Ubbel does a 2 straight. Again, because I can go and join those on the right if for some reason you sent the Tri-Fighters towards me. But I've also got like a nice 3 bank into the left to threaten Bo.
Yeah.
If I need to. And then Volan and Dirge move.
Yeah, so Volan does a 3 bank to the right and barrels to the right. Because they're just staying away. And I have options to turn in, depending on what I think you're going to do next turn. Dirge does a 2 bank to the right, heading up towards the Black Squadron Ace, and cloaks, just to try and get that extra little boosty boost in a future turn.
And then Vader does a 5 straight and focuses. Now, interestingly, this turn, I've got a bit of a call to make. Because you've kind of telegraphed where Bo's going. Like,
yeah.
It's either straight or your hard turn, but I think that puts you on a rock, so it's probably straight. So I can turn in everything on Bo. I've got time. Okay, maybe we don't engage this round, but it ends up in effectively a joust. But I also know that you can just one hard the Tri-Fighters to the left, and then suddenly they're flanking Vader and both
and they're both outmaneuver.
And they're both outmaneuver. So I have to make a 50-50. I have to make a call of what I think you're going to do. Do I turn in, or do I go straight, claim the objective point, and threaten the TIE fighters if they... the Tri-Fighters, if they turn in? we roll off, and I'm first player again. But I'm okay with that because at least I know DIS is moving first, so
Yep. So you get an idea of what I'm going to do.
yeah, I kind of figured you're likely to do something reasonably similar with both Dry Fighters, so or certainly at this stage.
Yeah.
So the Black Squadron Ace goes first. It does a 3 bank, brings him up to the bottom objective, and sort of starts getting him roughly into the field of play. Takes a focus.
So Bo-Katan does a 1 bank to the left, landing just in front of the rock I placed in the center, and takes a focus. And this is a mistake.
I'll admit, I didn't see
This
the 1
is a
bank
greedy
coming.
mistake. Yeah. So I had a look at that. I thought, I think this fits. And the focus action is a greedy mistake because when I look at your list, I'm like, if you're shooting, you're range 3, so focus, maybe I get a shot. What I should have done is reinforced because I'm probably.
Yeah.
But I think that the problem is what I wanted to do secretly was stop next round.
Yeah, and red reinforce would.
And red reinforce would stop that. But I should have reinforced because if I think there is any chance at all that you're turning in on me, like the focus ain't going to help against all 4 of your shots. Like, okay, yeah, the Black Squadron Ace isn't going to do anything, but it is what it is. Like, I didn't think you'd get a ton of good shots against me this round. I just thought you were too far out.
Yeah.
This does a 5 straight and barrels to the right again.
So Backstabber does a 3 hard. I believe I Afterburners boost. Which doesn't get me the bullseye, but gets me pretty nice and tight. And then takes a focus. Mauler follows with the exact same. Ubel does a 3 bank, which lands a hell of a lot closer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I was just thinking, that's very close to where Backstabber first ended up. You wouldn't have bumped, but it's like quite close.
But hey, it fit. And now they're all in a nice little formation.
Yep, totally intended.
Yeah, exactly. And I take a target lock onto Bo.
So Dirge does a 4 straight and boosts to the left, still cloaked. And Volandas does a 5 straight and boosts to the left. Basically lining up just behind Bo.
And then Vader 3 hard as well. Unfortunately, can't follow the Afterburners boost because Ubel's in the way.
Ubel.
Takes a lock and just plinks range 3 onto Bo. So we go to the shooting, and it is Vader range 3. And I roll hit blank. I change 1 to a crit with the advanced targeting, and then just spend force for 2 and a crit.
And I roll 3 evades.
I do Owl first, who gains a calculate with the target assists. Then shoots
and
range.
This is 3 obstructed, so I'm on 4 dice
3
now.
obstructed. I fire the sync laser cannons because might as well. I get hit crit blank. I spend the lock to change into or to roll into an eyeball, and then spend the calculate for hit crit.
I roll 4 dice. I get 2 evades, a focus, and a blank, so spend my focus for 3 evades.
Mauler has range 3, gets the extra dice, rolls hit crit.
I roll 2 evades and a blank, and I treacherous putting the strain on Backstabber to cancel the 3rd one. So hey, no damage so far.
And then Backstabber range 2 rolls hit focus, spends the focus for 3.
And I can roll 2 evades.
So I've thrown my entire list into you. You spent 1 focus, 1 treacherous, and taken 1 shield.
Yes, I think statistically I should have taken about 2 more damage.
Yeah, maybe.
With Grievous, I'm counting in as well. Like statistic.
Yeah.
Because the Ubble shot 3 on 4. I have odds at blanking that.
Yeah.
But I should. I think I should have taken more damage from Mauler and.
I think Vader should have probably cost you the shot, the focus spend.
Yeah, either the focus or the treacherous, because I was eyeing treacherous on Vader's shot because his arc went straight through Backstabber, and that's where I thought I'd have to spend it.
Yeah. But that is what it is.
It is what it is.
So yeah, that's almost my entire list. In fact, I'm not entirely sure the Black Squadron Ace has a shot. So we go over to you.
And I range 2 into backstabber, I think here.
Yeah, who's straight.
I roll hit, focus. So just 1.
And I rolled evade. And I think
And
that's it for
that.
the shooting.
That's literally it. So I believe I get 2 and you get 2 because
Yes.
here's the thing. So Bo-Katan is contesting the center, but because you got Ubble there, you negate my presence and you have a second ship.
Yes.
And at this point, so this is a spoiler for me when I got here. At this point, I realized I think this is where I've threw the game because currently I am not in a position to actually like really fight your list. And whilst I got pretty lucky on the damage on the attack this round, I'm still kind of screwed. Like my treacherous is gone. I'm going through a rock. I don't have really that many good options, and the BSA can really mess me up depending on how I want to go because stopping isn't really an option.
I mean, you could have stopped.
I could have stopped, but like it's not ideal. Volan's right behind the Gauntlet.
So, do you know what I thought you were going to do here?
What?
2 hard to ships left.
Yeah, I could see that. I think I was a little afraid that was going to land me on the rock. The Pride of Mandalore rock at the middle there.
I think you would have been okay, but I suppose that it's close enough to. But I thought that because it gives you an escape route.
Yeah. Well, I did take the escape route essentially, but it didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. But for me, Dirge is doing fine, but Volan and the Tri-Fighter are not in good positions to do what I need them to be doing. The only thing I have going for me is that Volan and Dis are going to be approaching from different angles, which means it'll be tricky for you to not be outmaneuvered by one of them.
Whereas interestingly, I was looking at this thinking, well, how can I get now that you've spent Treacherous and I think you've spent Grievous as well, haven't you?
No, I still have Grievous.
Still have Grievous, but you spent Treacherous, and I was sitting there thinking, right, how do because I've got locks from Vader or. I was like, how do I get the most shots on Bo? And I didn't think you'd stop there. And I wasn't sure how to do it. Because you move first, and because of where the rocks are, there's not a whole lot for me to go, I suppose, without just self-bumping loads. Which is why I kind of thought the 2 hard, because there's no real way for the TIE fighters to get in on that.
I mean, honestly, hindsight, I should have just gone straight and just said, bump me.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like a bump jam favors me at this point. But, so, I feel like I telegraph where I'm going now, because in the system phase, I trigger Mandalorian Optics and I take a target lock on your Black Squadron Ace.
Yeah, but unfortunately by that point it's too late. We've already set dials.
Yeah.
We have rolled off, and Sam is first player this turn, which means my Black Squadron moves and then your entire list moves.
Yep. So I decloak forward with Dirge, and I already realise at this point I have screwed myself over.
So interestingly, I wasn't expecting the manoeuvre that you do because it lands you on a rock, but I was expecting you to come round. Hence the bank in with the Black Squadron Ace, and I kind of actually wish I'd done the 3.
Yeah, because the Black Squadron Ace does a 2 bank into the centre.
Yeah. And takes a focus. And I think if I'd done a 3, and then, bearing in mind I know I'm doing a 1 straight with Ubble, if I'd done a 3 and barrel rolled away, there's no way Dirge gets target on me. And if Bo's come down there's a chance I block her on the rock.
Yeah. But Bo does a 3 bank to the right. So I go clear through the rock in front of me and unfortunately bump into the Black Squadron Ace, but not on the rock that the Black Squadron Ace is near. So it's not the worst, but it's not amazing. And I believe I take no damage. No bonus damage from the rock, and I do take a red focus because I'm pretty sure I'm in for a world of pain. Notably, I have forgotten to trigger my pilot ability, and I will forget to do this a lot because I could have removed Darth Vader's lock.
Yes.
Dis does a one hard to the left, barrel rolls to the left, and links it to an evade. Because I wasn't 100% sure that your block wasn't just going to go, cool, now we killed Dis.
Yeah.
Dirge does a two bank to the left and lands directly on the Pride of Mandalore rock. I knew this was going to happen the instant I decloaked. I just thought the decloak would push me that like half an inch further than I needed. I take 1 damage, but no bonus damage. My Volan does a 4 straight. No, that is a
3 something.
There's a 3 bank to the right, and I boost to the left and focus because I didn't want you just to jump on. I didn't want you to jump on my vulnerable Tri-Fighter if I could avoid it.
Yep. So we swing over to me, and I do a 3 straight with Backstabber because I wasn't expecting Volan to disappear like that, to be honest. And I thought about doing the 3k, but I thought, well, if Bo stays where she is and I bump, then I'm just sat in front of her stressed. If I don't bump, then I'm sat in front of her facing the wrong way. If she does too hard to the left, I'm just sat behind her taking a shot. Whereas the 3 straight gave me options, like I could afterburners boost if I need to, which in fact I do because it puts me round towards Volan and take a focus. Mauler then follows suit, and it's another reason the 3k I didn't think I could follow with Volan properly.
Yeah, you mean Mauler, right?
Yeah, Mauler, sorry. Although in hindsight, if I'd 3k'd both of them now, I could have turned into the back of Bo-Katan with afterburners, but that's hindsight. I didn't peg you going down that way, so because Ubel does a 1 straight, which leaves me right next to your ship, but in the side arc, so it doesn't matter which way I rotate my arc, I ain't getting a shot. So
and hilariously, I'm like about as on the center line as possible, so it's not like you can even reinforce.
Yeah, exactly. I can't reinforce. So I think I end up just taking a focus. And then Vader does a 3 hard, which bumps into the back of Ubel. I take a damage, but actually, I think that's a saving grace because it's left me out of Bo-Katan's arc and set me up to turn around the next turn after her.
Yeah. So we go to the shooting, and Vader has no shots, neither does Ubel.
So Mauler has a range 3.
Yeah, because Volan has no shot, and neither does Dirge because he's on a rock. So we go to your shooting.
I get hit, focus, spend for 3.
I roll 2 evades, 2 focuses, spend my focus for 4.
Backstabber gets the same shot, spends focus for hit, crit.
I roll 1 evade and 3 focuses. So I'm immune to blanks on evades, but it doesn't help when I don't have tokens.
Yeah, you take hit crit, and I believe your crit is a disabled power regulator.
Yeah, but luckily I've already engaged, so I have a turn.
You do have a turn, and that's it. So we go to the 4s.
So I go to Dis. I have a range 3 outmaneuver shot into Mauler. I believe I roll hit blank and then re-roll 2 into a crit.
I roll 3 evades and get 3 blanks. So I take
yay.
Hit crit. Yeah,
you have all my blanks.
Sat there with a focus. All right. I take a console fire.
Yeah, and I get 2 depletes for those rerolls. So then Bo-Katan rolls range 0 into the Black Squadron Ace and rolls nothing. Then range 1...
Range 2.
Range 2 into Mauler to try and capitalize on my dice luck, and I get 2 hits after spending my focus.
I roll 2 blanks and a focus, and I spend to live. So, there you go. 6 dice, 5 blanks. Go Mauler. But I'm still alive because boys get a hull upgrade.
Yep.
Although that console
and the BSA... Yeah, the console fire could be dangerous. BSA rolls 2 hits into Bo.
Range 0.
And I roll 2 blanks. Because the range 0 shots, those are the ones that do it.
Yeah. So objective points. I think Bo's just out of the range of the one on my side.
Yeah.
So that one's contested. I've got the centre and the one on your side.
I think Verland's just out on the far top one. I think this is 2-0. This is 2-0 to you.
Yeah.
And Volan's on 1 health. Dis is doing okay, but he can't get rid of both of his depletes, unfortunately.
So I do something this turn that I should do more of in X-Wing and very rarely do in X-Wing, which is think about the next turn. Because I know I know that Volan's getting an eye on the next turn. I know he's stressed. I know he's facing towards the left-hand side, my board edge. And he's got to go. I could chase after him now and try and get some shots. Or I could hard turn the two boys down between the rock. Maybe not get a great shot this turn or a shot at all. But then I've got all the manoeuvrability in the world to pounce on him when he's ionized.
Yeah.
And so I do.
And I make a pretty big mistake here with Bo. In the system phase, I drop a bomb behind me because there's a giant cluster of ships in the center. It's probably going to hit something.
That's a mistake.
The bomb isn't the mistake. The mistake is I just wasn't thinking about my move, and I just thought the one bank would clear your tie.
So I won half. I won half the tie because I thought the two straight might just clear because I am fractionally on the right of the base.
Yeah.
I poke out the edge, so I do the one hard because I know that's going nowhere, and I take the red focus.
And I try one bank to the left, which just basically it clips the back of the tie. It's one of those where when I said it, I was just so sure that I was going to clear you because I figured you'd still be there, and I was just positive I'd clear you, and that would let me clear the stress and I'd get away from my own bomb. So however, I don't.
Yeah, if I was center, then you would.
Yeah. Dis does a 2 hard to the left because I know I was going to be a bomb of my own in there. Clears the stress and the deplete. And then I barrel roll to the left and link it to an evade, just trying to stay alive as long as possible.
Mauler does a 3 hard and barrel rolls to the right to get range 1 of the objective, but also to try and cut inside Volan so he can't get a sneaky outmaneuver range 1 shot on me.
And also not be in range 1 of the proton bomb.
Yeah, that, sure.
That would literally kill him.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
That would literally kill him.
Yeah,
sure. I
feel
like ideally, don't you want to fix your console fire?
Yeah, sure, let's go with that. I won hard with Backstabber. I actually think that's out of range 1, so I just take a focus. Although, to be fair, I can't really barrel roll because it would stick me behind the rock, so...
Yeah, and that's not really where anyone wants to be.
Owl does a 2 hard to actually chase after DIS, also to get in range of the top objective. And I took a target lock on the Tri-Fighter.
Yep. Volan does a 2 bank to the left, thanks to his modified for organics. That is a blue move. And I think about cutting in, but I also just I'm just gonna see what happens. I boost and I focus because that means next round, if I live, I can turn in with the iron maneuver and get back into the fight.
But interestingly, I actually think cutting back in might have been the better move because where you are now, even if you 1 bank to the left, are just 2 straight with both ships.
Yeah.
Like, you can't block that. Whereas the cut-in, I'd have to turn around if I wanted shots.
Yeah. The second thing, I thought about it at the time and then promptly forgot about it the next thing, is Bo-Katan's ability can remove the iron I'm about to get. And as long as Bo-Katan moves next round, I can be within range 2 of Volan, and that would probably get you. Because I think you wouldn't expect Volan to actually do a move.
Yeah.
But again, I thought about that at the exact moment, but then promptly forgot about it literally next move as Dirge basically tries to move to where Bo-Katan would be, but now Bo-Katan still is, rolls and takes a damage from the bump into Bo. But he's off the rock.
And then Vader does a 2 hard. He'll take the proton bomb. I was hoping to get a shot.
You can afford to.
I wanted to get a shot into the back of Bo, which I've got. It's range 1, so I take the focus.
I also forget to remove Vader's lock again with Bo's ability.
So the bomb goes off. It does just catch Backstabber. It catches Hubble, and it catches Vader for me.
And Bo for me.
So Ubble takes a fuel leak. That's fine. He's got 8 health. Backstabber takes a direct, not ideal. And Vader takes a shield.
And Bo takes a stunned pilot. That's fine. I'm not planning on going over any rocks anyway.
So Vader range 1's into the back of Bo. Rolls hit, I blank. I change 1 to a crit. I spend the lock to roll into hit focus, and then spend 1 force for 3 and a crit.
I roll 2 blanks.
So you're down to
take
3
a 9 pilot damage.
And you've got a weapons failure, which is kind of useful because I know you're going to double tap.
Yeah, because I mean, you could go into me with backstabber and try and deny me a shot, but I feel I have a decent shot of surviving because I still have. I've used Grievous at some point. That's why I'm on 3.
But you have 2 greens and a focus, so
yeah.
Ubble goes into the Tri-Fighter with the Sync Laser. I spend the lock for hit crit.
I roll 2 evades and a blank, and I spend my evade token for 3 evades.
Backstabber goes range 2, I believe, into Bo. I roll focus crit and spend.
I roll blank. Why did I change 2? Maybe it must have not finished rolling. I guess I roll either double focus or evade focus.
You
I
spend the
focus
focus.
for 2. Yeah.
So you've taken a damaged engine as well.
Yep. So I've got 2 left.
Mauler doesn't have Bo. We forget the console fire. We do catch it at the end of the turn. I take the range 2 into Volan and roll nothing.
Volan has range 3 obstructed at maneuver into your Black Squadron Ace. I spend the focus for 2 hits. Because I roll hit, focus, blank, and I spend the focus for 2 hits.
I roll evade, blank, focus. I spend for 2 because the only shot I've got is range 0.
Dirge takes the range 0 shot into the Black Squadron Ace and rolls hit focus.
I roll 1 evade.
And then Bo takes a range 0 shot into the BSA out the front.
You should have rolled 1 license.
Do we go back to weapons failure?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Here we go. And I roll single hits.
Which is fine because that was the same result it was anyway. I roll an evade.
Then I go range 2 into Ubble so I can roll a 1 dice against 1 dice. Because rolling 2 into Vader feels pointless. So I just figured let's try and plink off Ubble.
Fair. You get 1 hit. I roll an evade.
And Dis has nothing. And the BSA does nothing.
So we add up points. And it's 2-0 to me.
Yes.
But then we remember the console fire in a second. There we go. Which kills Mauler.
Yeah. And I used Novice Technician in the end phase, and I got rid of
the
one of my crits. I got rid of the damaged engine. Yeah.
So Mauler dying not only gives you 3 points, it also stops us contesting the top objective, which becomes yours.
Yes.
So what was 6-2 is now 6-6.
Which is quite a swing. But
you're
about to get 7.
Yeah, exactly. Bo's on 2, so
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
And here we are. Remember that thing I said about how Bo can make that can delay that ion for a turn by just moving up towards Volan? I've already completely forgotten that was an idea I had. And I've decided to fix what I made a mistake last round, and I'm going to go. I 2-bank to the left because that definitely clears the BSA when I could have just gone to the right and helped my Tri-Fighter.
So we roll off, and I'm first player for turn 5. I
declined to drop a bomb because I'm pretty sure. I was relatively certain that there wouldn't be that many ships in the center because I thought Vader would leave. The TIE Fighter might be there, but Ubble's not going to be there. And if I somehow screw this up, I don't want Bo to be there either.
Yeah. System phase, you gauntlet your weapons failure.
Yes, I gauntlet my weapons failure.
I kind of figured Bo would be moving on, so I thought there's no point sitting there going for the block. I also thought the 2 straight would clear if I went left, and I didn't really want to go left to try and clear the stress. A 2 straight bumps me into Vader as much as anyone else. So a 2 bank to the right it is to clear the stress. And I barrel roll away because I want to just try and line up an arc on the Tri-Fighter as it comes down.
Yep. I 2 bank to the left, clear my stress. Again, realise that I've forgotten my ability. I could have cleared Vader's lock on me. And I'd actually take a focus. Dis T81 does I believe that is a 2 straight or a
it's 3
I think it's a 3 straight. Because I then afterburners to the right, barrel roll to the right, and link it to an evade. Just facing down the BSA.
Mauler does, sorry, not Mauler. Backstabber does a 2 straight and takes a focus to get a shot onto Voss when he comes in, Das when he comes in even. Uber does a 1 bank because I thought a 2 hard would clip the rock. So just
I think you'd be right there.
Bide my time there and takes a lock onto Deer. Oh no, just take a focus. I should have taken a lock there. That's why, because I was right about getting shot.
Yeah. So Dirge does a 2 bank to the left, and then I focus boost to the right to line up my bullseye onto Ubble. And I feel like with Dirge, I feel like if you like the focus is not going to help you, right?
Yeah, what I should have done there was not focused. What I should have done was calculate rotated.
Yeah.
Because even if you're not in arc, there's no way anyone's in my front arc. And the target assist makes the calculate rotate white, so it's not costing me anything. I can just rotate back next turn. Yeah. That would have been better, because looking at that, I'm not sure. Maybe it clips, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then Villain does a 1 bank and focuses.
Vader does a 2 hard. And takes a lock back onto Bo, because let's finish her off. So I got range 2 in Bullseye. I spend the lock, end up with hit crit crit.
I roll blank evade, so Bo is dead.
We then go to Backstabber, who goes range 1 into Volan. I now have Vader in the side up, so still get my extra dice. I roll hit crit focus blank. Spend the focus for 3.
I roll evade focus, spend the focus for 3.
Bloody Tri-Fighters with focuses. You're supposed to have a calculate.
I know, it's good, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? Then Dirge has range 1 in the bullseye with his primary, but I check the bullseye arc for the proton cannon. I actually do have range 2 obstructed with the proton cannon, so I take that, and I end up with 2 hits and 2 crits thanks to the proton cannon ability.
I roll blank focus, spend the focus, so take
which
hit.
We completely forget about Dead to Rights here, apparently.
That's a good point. So
I mean, I don't think it would have... Yeah, I don't think it mattered greatly.
So I end up taking a damage from the fuel leak, and then luckily the last crit is a hull breach. Yeah, that's a good point. Dead to Rights.
So there we go. Taking the focus did matter because we just ignored my rules.
Although a calculate would have done the same job if we were ignoring rules.
True. Calculate would have done the exact same job. Volan rolls outmaneuver obstructed into Vader, I think, and I get 2 hits and a blank.
So I'm still on 3. I roll blank, focus. Evade. Take a shield. Can't get any false backs. I'm at full force.
Dis rolls range 1 depleted into the Black Squadron Ace.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because I've only got 3 dice.
No, you don't. You're rolling to Vader.
Oh, I do roll into Vader. Oh, of course, I'm not depleted because I've had 2 turns not shooting. I get deplete now. Yeah. I rolled, range 2, outmaneuver into Vader. I re-roll for, it was 2 hits, wasn't it?
Yeah. I blank out. Come on, Vader. Full force. Where's the focus when you need it? So Vader's on 1.
It's all right. The power of hate will consume you.
I can't hate if I've got full force.
You can hate, it just doesn't get you any benefit. You can still hate though.
Fair. The BSA goes range 1 into DIS and rolls 1 hit, which you dodge.
Because I spend my evade.
And I think I score 1 point on that one.
Because
I think, is it Ubble's in range of the top one?
I think Ubble's in range of one of them.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Ubble's not in range. It's the TIE Fighter and Vader are both in range of the center, and Dis isn't.
Dis isn't. Okay. And that's it. So it's 14-6. Spoilers, this game ends with a 3-point difference.
Yeah,
both of us above 20.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Like I'm still going to maintain. I think me committing Bo towards the center when the rest of my list wasn't ready to capitalize is probably the clincher. Like any mistake I made after that is sort of irrelevant because yes, I got away with only taking like 1 damage, but I probably should have taken 3.
Yeah.
Like at least 3. Okay.
So, why have I flipped a...
I don't know.
I'm guessing I just
didn't put it on the overlay until all
didn't put it on the overlay until now. So Ubble's got a hull breach and a weapons failure. So we roll off.
I did put in 2 crits, right?
Yeah. Ubble... sorry. We roll off and you are first player. My BSA does a 1 hard. Stay in range of the center. Take a focus.
Dis does a 3 hard to the right. Clears the deplete and the stress. So he's bang on the center. And I believe I boost to the left and calculate, just trying to line up the shot into backstabber.
Yep.
Dirge does a 1 hard to the left and miraculously does not touch that rock, but is still stressed, facing the wrong way. And Volan does a... What is that? That was a 1 hard to the left and a boost into a focus to try and get out of the way of all the nasty stuff.
Yep. Backstabber does a 4K to just, get out of arcs and then set up for the next turn. Abel continues his meander around the bottom rock, but it keeps him in range of no objective. And he does 2 hard. And then he takes a target lock onto the Tri-Fighter. More thinking a couple of turns in the future, like, might make you a bit more wary of coming back in if I've already got that lock. Yeah. And Vader does a 3 hard to the left. Because 1 health, not risking it. And I take a lock onto Volan for pretty much the same reason.
Yep.
So the only... I'll say the only shot. Backstabber has a range 2 into Volan. I roll 1 hit.
I think you're going into Dis at this point.
Maybe I went into Dis. But either way, you dodge it.
Yeah.
And then the only other shot is the BSA, who does go range 2 into DIS. Gets 1 crit.
And I roll 3 evades. Evades!
So at the end of that turn with objectives, it's 16-8.
Yeah, so you score 2, I score 2.
Yeah.
And we're in an interesting spot because I'm kind of facing the wrong way. And I have to basically turn around this turn and contest some objectives, because if you just meander and score 3 points on objective this round, I basically can't win.
Yeah, which is
like, honestly, if Ubble just hard turns down the board and then hard turns again, like, he's probably guaranteed 2 points.
Yeah. So system phase, you drop a bomb.
Yes. Dirge drops a bomb and fuses it. And
boy, was I happy when you fused it.
Like, I know it's like full hindsight, but I was like, I don't think anyone's going to be there, but I want to just make sure Vader can't do anything weird.
Yeah.
So if I drop it there and fuse it, because I don't think Vader's coming in this turn, but it will ward him off the next turn as well, because I didn't think the TIE Fighter was going to be around, and nor did I think Ubble was coming into the center.
So I do a 1 hard to the left with the BSA to keep him on the center objective.
Yep, so he is within range 1 of the proton bomb, and I'm a little sad.
I think I
can't
could
be
have
bothered.
barrel rolled out of it, to be fair.
You could have done,
left
yes.
and forward. But as it's fused, I'll just take the focus.
So this does a 3 hard to the left, and I believe I afterburners here, I think.
No, you just take an
Oh,
evade.
no, I just take an evade. I can't remember. There's a turn I afterburners juicily, I think. Dirge does a 1 hard to the left, staying stressed, but keeping on the bottom objective. But he's hoping to catch Backstabber as you come in.
Yeah.
Volan does a 3... no, that is a... that's a 2 bank to the right, and I boost to the right and focus, just trying to get him out of the way, because he's on 1 health, and you're scary.
Yeah. I do a 2 bank with Backstabber, jumps over DIS. I don't like the range. Like, I got a feeling that's just clipping range 3 of Dirge. I don't want to... I know it'll probably be obstructed, but I've got 2 health.
But it's also probably bullseye.
Yeah, why take the risk? So I barrel roll to the left. It keeps me range 1 of the objective, so we're contesting. Ubble does a 2 hard, back in.
So I wasn't expecting the 2 hard back in. That's what I wasn't expecting.
I figured gets me back in towards the 3 center objectives, so...
Yeah, I guess.
Also, I forgot that Dirge had bombs, so... It was like, when you were like, I'm dropping a bomb, I was like, oh, crap. And then I'm fusing it. It's like, whew!
Yeah, because I'd convinced myself that, okay, well, Ubble just, like, turns down to the bottom of the board, rotates his turret, and basically says, this bottom objective is mine, and nothing you can do can stop it. Because all you need is him to do that for a couple more turns, and you've won.
Yeah. I take a target lock onto Dirge with the brute.
Yeah, makes sense.
I fall straight with Vader. My thinking here was, depending on what you've done, fall straight, afterburners to the left gets me range 1 of the objective. But considering where all the ships are, oh no, I do afterburners, and then I barrel roll in so that I've got an easier cut in next turn. Yeah, because I haven't actually afterburners with Vader yet, so I've still got the
first one. Yeah,
still got both left.
So Dirge tries for it and doesn't have anyone in arc. Then we go to Ubble, and you have 2 of my ships in arc, so you get 2 calculates.
2 calculates, and then take the range 2 into Dirge with a sync laser. I roll 1 hit, 2 blanks. I spend the lock and end up with hit, crit.
I roll 2 blanks. So down to 3 health on Dirge.
I can't remember.
And it was a panicked pilot, I believe.
Panicked pilot. That'll be why I haven't put it on. I think Backstabber's got a range 3 into Volan. Or have we jumped straight to the BSA? We'll find out in a second.
Well, nothing happens.
Guessing that was the BSA, so it's fine. Nothing happens. We look at objectives.
And you score 2, and I score 1.
Yeah. So 18-9.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind,
Oof.
25 minutes left, and we already know you finish above 20. So
yeah, this gets very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
So in my head, I think so at this point I think I've lost, basically, because I'm like, I don't see how I can stop you from getting 2. Because you've got Backstabber, Vader, the BSA, and Ubble all able to at least contest a point, and I don't have enough ships to stop that.
Yeah. So system phase, you drop another proton bomb.
Yeah, I drop another proton bomb. I don't fuse it. Again, just in case Vader does something crazy and comes around the back.
I mean, that leaves a whole wide area of... Basically, you've almost completely nullified 2 points.
Yeah. My thought was either if Vader tries to come that way, or maybe Ubble tries to turn in and cheekily score 2 points and hope that the single proton bomb doesn't kill him.
Yeah,
something like that.
Then we go to my BSA, who does a 3 bank. Basically, I was just trying to catch the Tri-Fighter as it came round. And in hindsight, I should have done the 2 and just kept a little further back. It's gone a little bit too far forward. But I take the focus.
Because the Tri-Fighter does a 3 hard to the left and boosts past the TIE Fighter. I believe I then just calculate, because I think that was an afterburners boost.
Yeah, it was an afterburners.
And then I barrel roll to the left and evade, because I'm trying to get into the center to contest as many objectives as I can, and just have a shot into either Vader if he turns in, or Ubble if you go towards the center or towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Ubble's gone fast, I'm screwed, and then that is what it is.
So Backstabber does a 1 hard to stay on the top point and takes a focus. And Ubble did a 2 bank. Basically, because I wasn't expecting the Tri-Fighter to get the boost round and such. And I was trying to get out the proton bomb, but also be in range of the center, and then have the space for the next turn.
Because you have a 4 straight, right? I think if you 4 straight past the center, you've got this.
So interestingly, in hindsight, and looking at that before we moved, I was thinking to myself, I should have just gone a fast straight.
Yeah.
But hey.
So that was the one thing I couldn't stop.
Yeah. Well, I thought you might turn Dirge down towards that to try and get a shot on him, because I've only got 3 health left and a hull breach.
Yeah. But my problem is I have to stop everything. So basically, Dis has the job of stopping whatever is going on in the center. Dirge has to try and stop Backstabber, and Volan has to not die.
Fair.
So it must have not been a panic pilot. So I have no idea what crit it was that got immediately put face down.
Interesting.
Was it just a direct hit?
Might have been a direct hit.
It's just direct hit. Either way, I bond back to the right, barrel roll to the left, and link it to a focus. So I have a shot into Backstabber, and I think I might be contesting one or both of the objectives. Dirge does a 3 bank to the right, and then I boost straight and focus, which is scarily close to my proton bomb. But I need this objective if I want to stay in. It is just out of range. Neither of the proton bombs is going to hit anything, and Vayla's done a 1 straight and
one
focus.
Straight focus. Keep on that bottom point.
Yeah.
So Ubble does the range 0 into the Tri-Fighter, rolls 1 hit.
I roll 1 evade, 2 focuses, and I believe I dodge it. Yeah,
you dodge it.
My mind just stopped.
Backstabber goes range 2 into Dirge. I roll 2 hits.
I roll a single evade, so Dirge is down to 1 health. It must have been a direct hit, because if I'm down to 1 health,
must have been a direct hit, and I just didn't put the extra damage on.
Yeah.
So Dirge down to 1.
Volan has nothing. Dirge has range 2 into Backstabber and does nothing. And then Dis has range 0 into Ubble, rolls hit crit.
I roll a focus. I spend the focus. I take a panicked pilot. And
you take hit crit. Which is panic pilot and stunned pilot.
No, it's I thought it was double panicked.
Possibly double panicked.
But interesting.
Either way,
I'm dead.
I think you're dead.
Which means I must have missed the damage off him on the overlay.
There must be a fuel leak there, I reckon.
So that's 5 points for you.
Yeah, so 5 points for me, and then all of a sudden, Ubble is not controlling 2 objectives.
Yes.
And Dis and Dirge are controlling the center. So you get 1 point this round.
And I believe you get 2. So
I get
19-16.
So that's a bit of a swing.
So we know this is the last turn. Because there's effectively nothing you can do to stop the BSA just claiming that's...
literally 0.
Bottom. No one can get a shot.
An absolute Hail Mary from Volan, if you go slow, could do it. But it would have to be an absolute Hail Mary magical Christmas land shot, right?
Yeah.
So I have 1 hope, and that's plink 1 damage onto Vader.
So I'm pretty sure I do a 1 hard with the BSA here. What I should have done was a 2 straight.
Yeah.
Or a 1 hard to the right.
I think even a 3 straight keeps you in range of that objective.
I think a 2 to play it safe. It keeps the rock between me and Dirge, just in case you turn down that way.
Yeah. I have 1 goal is hold some objectives and try and kill Vader. That's the only thing I can do. And Dirge, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
And I'm kind of like, if Vader dies but I kill Volan, then we're equal on points. Because he's 4, isn't he, to my 6?
No, if Vader dies and you kill Volan, you just win. You win by 1. I need Volan to survive.
Oh yeah, because I'm ahead by 3, not 2. Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah. So that was it. Like, so long as I kill Volan and the other 2 don't die, I'm fine basically. So I was happy to, I suppose, sacrifice.
Yeah.
Vader to make sure. But yeah, so, now this is a mistake. I don't think it matters.
This could have backfired if I decided if I thought I could Hail Mary this.
So I won hard with the BSA, and then I barrel roll into the center to try and get greedy and claim 2 objectives. If the Tri-Fighters, I thought you might jet right after Vader, thinking I'd go slow and just stay by that objective.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I should have just played it safe because why take the risk?
Because if Volan like 3 hards and boosts into the center and links it to a focus, I've gotten that maneuver shot into an unmodded defense TIE fighter. Now, admittedly, you're still full health. I'd have to dice you still.
Yeah. But why take that risk?
That's the play. But I think at this point you can afford to take this risk because no matter what happens, I actually have to go
kill
for Vader.
Vader.
Like there is no other option, and if I really wanted to be greedy, I could be like, okay, Dis is going to kill Vader, and then Volan go for the tie, and then Dirge go for backstabber. Like, that's ultimate greed. And in hindsight, maybe, because what I do is essentially I commit Volan to a head-on engagement with Darth Vader, and that's not really something he's likely to win.
So
backstabber
does 3 hard, narrowly avoids the rock, and takes focus.
Dirge does a 1 bank to the left and takes a focus. And Volan does a 2 bank to the right. He sets on the bottom objective, and because I don't know where Vader's going, I just focus.
So I know that even if I'd done a slow maneuver, I'm likely in one of the Tri-Fighters arcs. It's an outmaneuver shot. Vader's already thrown a million blanks. That's just not worth taking the risk. So I do the maths in my head before we set dials and work out that as long as I kill Volan, we're fine. He's got to be coming towards me somewhere. So I 3 hard. And then I afterburners in to try and get range 1, and then I take the focus, because I've already got the lock.
Because you got that lock 3 turns ago when they were literally travelling in opposite directions to the far end of the map, and 3 turns later, here we are, range 1 of each other. Both on the 1 health.
So range 1, and I just, we'll roll hit, crit out of hand.
So Volan is dead and I've lost.
I take change 1 for 3 crits.
I roll blank focus, so it likely doesn't matter what you rolled. I was probably dying. But I spend the focus for 1, and I take a pile of damage. Volan's dead. And so there's only 1 more shot. I have a range 3 outmaneuver shot with Dis into Vader.
So we've got 3 reds with 1 calculate. I've got 3 greens with 3 force.
To be fair, I have as many rerolls as I need as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I roll 2 hits and a focus, so I spend the calculate for 3.
Oh, and of course, I roll 3 blanks. This is why I needed to kill Volan.
Yes, that is true. Although I will say, to be fair to this shot, at this point, he's statistically likely to die.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm statistically likely to roll one blank, but it's just 3 again. So Vader dies.
So Vader dies.
That's the only shots.
23-20. Yeah, those are the only shots. It's 23-22 to you, and you score 2 objectives because your barrel roll with the BSA paid off because him and Backstabber contest the center, and Backstabber's contesting the far side. So you've got 2 objectives to my 0, 25-22.
25-22. But that game went real tight at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think here's where I think the same engagement can be massively interpreted differently, because I imagine after the first engagement, you were probably annoyed.
I was not particularly happy with only doing 2 shields.
Yeah. Whereas I thought I'd already lost. Like not including the damage thing. I thought that Bo is screwed and the Tri-Fighters can't capitalize.
No, see, I was struggling to think of how to get onto Bo, and honestly, it's only the bump from Vader into Hubble that saved it. If he'd completed his, I think he was doing a 3 hard, I would have been facing completely the wrong direction. And Bo scampers off. Like a bumps, I could argue a bump won me this game because Vader punched most of the damage through on Bo.
Yeah.
Um,
But I just thought it was interesting that we both had yeah, okay, dice to dice. I got very lucky. I should have taken more damage, but I even taking 1 damage thought, oh, I fucked this up.
yeah,
Like I've really messed this up. I'm screwed. The Tri-Fighters can't capitalize. Dirge is still cloaked and miles away, and Bo is gonna take a motherload of damage next round. Was what was my thought.
yeah.
Whereas I
And then
imagine
it's-
you were thinking basically the exact opposite.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
holy
exactly.
crap, my
Like-
engagement went terrible.
Yeah, like rolling
It's-
into
it's
that
over.
turn, I was like,
Yeah.
sweet, I'm gonna punch 4 damage through here, and then I'll be set up nicely. You know, maybe not the next turn, but I can. But yeah, once it went through, and then I was like, oh, what? Where do I go from here? And actually, watching it back in hindsight, I was like, well, this is what I could have done. I could have done this. I could have dialed in the K turns, etc., etc., and I'll take that with me onto future games. But
Because, like, what my takeaway from this game is, and I think this is a good takeaway, if a round goes badly due to dice, you get annoyed at dice.
yeah.
But I think going in the mindset of, like, but see what happens next turn. Because next turn, Bo completely crapped out and took, like, 7 damage.
Yeah.
Um,
But then Vicely,
So-
you know, that the killing at Ubble, you know, 2 rounds you like almost swung a 10-point difference. Like
Yeah.
it's really even in deep into the game where you've lost your big ship and everything. It's not over till it's over.
yeah, exactly. I think that's what I wanted to be like. This is the takeaway from this game is
Like where it was
your initial reaction can likely be wrong because it sometimes sucks when we're rolling dice.
yeah. And like we all get a little salty from time to time, and we all get, I suppose, a little down when it does go your way. But it'll swing. It always does.
Yeah, because I think well, like I said, like positioning wise, I actually don't think the damage you dealt in that first turn meant anything because I'd already knobbed myself basically.
Yeah. I think over the first 3 rounds of shooting, the damage I put through was probably about the appropriate amount of damage to put through. Just didn't feel like that after the first one.
Yeah, I think
So
exactly because, and I also like it is like I have this with the droid swarms as well. Sometimes is like sometimes I'll throw my entire volley of shells and be like, oh, okay, that didn't do a whole lot, and then the next round be like, oh, but it's crack shot time.
yeah, it's like so just to pivot a little bit. Thursday after we played this game, Sam and I were at Club Night, and we ended up playing a game where Sam had his energy shell list, and I was flying Morna, Gideon, Vader, and Juno in the next one. And like, it wasn't a hugely serious game because we ended up going, well, I'm not sure who wins the joust here. Let's find out. It's all about range control and who gets. And I got a range 1 initial just, and I thought, okay, that's good for me. He can't shell a lot of my ships. Although Vader was range 2 and so was Juno. Or at least they were of the ships that were left. And I killed 2 and got, I think, 1 down to 1. And then you fired shells back.
No, you killed 2 and dealt, and that was it. I'm pretty sure because I think
sure
Morna
it
whiffed.
damaged. Maybe.
I think Morna whiffed, or
No, Morna killed
maybe-
the Iron
maybe-
Assembler. Vader killed someone. I think Juno whiffed with a cluster
yes,
missile.
it's because you couldn't have the focus. That's what it
Yeah.
was. It's because Juno couldn't focus.
But and then I took a load of shells back and stuff, and I traded 2 2-point vultures for 4-point Juno, and the shields on Vader, because once again Vader's dice crapped out. But I was kind of okay with that. It wasn't perfect, but the 2 I'd killed hadn't fired shells, and you'd fired every other one of your shells. So suddenly a lot of your crit generation isn't going through. And I thought, I was like, okay, I'm actually really happy with this. With range 1, I can jump behind, and then swing around, start playing the ACer game and start picking them off because there's less ships to worry about. And then just found I couldn't actually get past the swarm.
Yeah, because I think what threw you off. This is a complete tangent, isn't it? Actually, screw it. We're on a tangent. Because I think what threw you off is when I set up, I sped up my center guys slightly to try and like basically like I set them in a bit of a V, so it's actually quite tricky to get to be range one of the front dudes and also clear the back dudes.
Yeah.
Because my formation is slightly extended.
I think the decimator would have cleared. It was the Bulbalub, the bank on
Yeah,
but my point was what happened in the next engage is like everyone bumped. Vader,
a couple of droids.
Vader dodged everyone except the Bulbalub, who he bumped into the front of. Who then spoiled through hit crit out of hand, and Vader blanked out again and died. But that's dice. But the rest of my ships all ended up bumping in front of Sam's list, and basically, Morna went down to about 2 health, and we called it there because we were just doing the jazz. But it's like that initial gauge for me, I thought wasn't perfect. I don't think Vader should have lost so many shields, but was pretty reasonable. It could have gone a lot worse. Like, I'll take that. And then it's just one turn later, and suddenly I've got no Vader, no Juno. Morna was on about 2, and I've got a cloaked Gideon. It's like, well, all right, that's game. Like, it's, that one bad round, literally one round, or, for me, one good round, literally one round later is suddenly a bad round. And then, for you, like, you've shot all your shells. Yes, you've got the crack shots, but then if I can get past and start getting the range 3 shots, it's harder for you. But that one turn of, to be fair, some great flying to get the blocks gets you, well, not even back in the game, just wins it outright.
Yeah.
So,
I think... Yeah,
it's kind of, it was a tangent, but it was more reinforcing the point of one bad turn does not a game make. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you got very unlucky that Vader bumped, because that was a surprise for me. My entire plan was like, stop Morna where she is. I have a lot of shots that I can likely put into her.
Yeah.
But Vader bumping in front of Seer was just like, I don't even know how to like quantify that as a dice thing, right? Because Seer just suddenly killed Vader.
But it is what it is. Sometimes that happens in X-Wing, like, and I think if Morna hadn't have taken quite so much, there's still a chance. It's a lot harder for me, but there's still a chance. Also, just a tangent, but a useful piece of information that I thought about the moment after I did it, and it was too late. If you're a large base and you think there's a chance you're going to bump, or more specifically, ships are going to bump into you and then you're going to jump over them, don't drop a proton bomb behind you, because it's going to be out of range 1. Because your range...
Yes.
Because that's 3 ship lengths, and a range 1 is 2.5. And it's like, the moment I did it, I was like, I wasn't worried about me taking it, but I was like, there's no way this hits, because he's just going to bump into the front of me. And then it's like...
I'll admit, when I saw that, I was like, oh, he thinks I'm going fast. Weird.
No, I just thought you were going to bump, and then it wasn't until I was like, no, hang on, I'm 2 ship banks, and that's a 1 straight. And it's like, that nub is not half a ship space.
Yeah.
But hey.
I mean, I think what our Thursday game actually says, like, it's one of those, like, know what is coming, because when Morna bumped, you had the option to take the reinforce to the front, and that would have caught 90% of my list.
And that was a mistake on me. I went for the damage instead of the reinforce, and I shouldn't have. It also didn't help that I thought one of the ships that was at range 0 wasn't. It was at range 1, but that's on me. Because it was when I moved forward, the guy who was slightly ahead bumped into Morna, and the guy who was slightly behind to the right there was like a whisper of a range 1, basically. But yeah, no, it's more just interesting how quickly it swung was where I was going with that. But we have gone off on a bit of a tangent, so we better wrap it up.
We better wrap up. Basically, memo of the day: just because your turn goes badly doesn't mean the opponent thinks their turn has gone well. Play it out. Because dice will swing back and forth, and just because your initial perfect oh my god engage has got them and doesn't go well doesn't mean that the next turn's going to go any better for them. Like, exactly. You got, like, at the very least, before you get angry at everything, play out the next turn and just see what happens. And yes, if the next turn happens, and let's say in this game, let's say next turn happens and Volan one-shots a tie and Bo one-shots a tie and Dis one-shots a tie, then okay, yes, then lament. But sometimes low health, high agility ships are just going to explode.
Exactly. It's the risk you take, isn't it? Blankouts happen. So Yeah, on that note, we will wrap it up. Thanks for listening, guys. We will
Blankouts
be back.
happen unless you're me.
Unless you're you. We'll be back next week. So until then, I'll just say goodbye.
Yeah, ta-ta. We've got an interesting one next week, I think.
Do we?
We do. We have plans.
Okay. Cool. I'll look forward to hearing them. See you guys next week.
Ta-ta.